Hi, I'm back after 17 years because I have a problem with consistency. Today I wanted to make a video about what I use in the summer for my makeup products, mainly because I don't use a lot of it, but when I do, it's really convenient and efficient, and I've actually gone a long time recently without wearing any face makeup, and I've gotten kind of used to liking how I look better without it, which is great for me. Now I'm like, let's just cover it in makeup, you know? Okay, so let's get started. I already washed my face and I'm going to moisturize with my CeraVe Daily Moisturizing Lotion. I wanted to go on a rant today about The Kissing Booth 2, which I just saw on Netflix. And when the first one came out, I think I watched it like 10 times and it made me bawl my eyes out. It's just another one of those really bad but great cringy Netflix movies, and I live for those, so...
I gotta go off for a second.
You know how things happen that just show you that you shouldn't be filming? Like I tried to just film outside an hour ago. Oh my god, this is the worst idea ever. Oh.
That wasn't it.
And now I almost just bit my tongue off. So, just girly things. Okay, so just a heads up, there's all the spoilers of the movie in here. So if you're gonna watch the movie, don't watch this yet, but watch it after, of course. And now I'm going to go in with my NARS concealer in Vanilla. I'm such a beauty guru. So, I don't even know where to begin because there were just so many things that happened that just pissed me off. Starting off, the biggest issue throughout the entire movie was Elle and Noah's communication. Didn't exist. He's literally across the country at college and she's a senior in high school, so like that's already like really stressful on me. And he just doesn't have any emotion whatsoever. I mean, they will literally only talk once a day and he'll just call her at the end of the day. And he'll say all this stuff like,
Oh, sorry I didn't call you last night. I was with the guys.
She's like,
Oh my god, no worries. No worries at all. Are you kidding?
I'm like, couldn't be me. I just realized I look naked, but
It's 95 degrees, give me a break.
I liked how they kept the main focus on her dancing with that dance machine thing still. I really liked that because it was like sentimental to her and Lee. I think the biggest change in the movie was obviously this kid Marco who comes along. He's the new kid that can play guitar and has good hair, so like...
We love that for him. He's a king.
And he's kind of the bad boy. He's like...
I don't like to have anything planned in my life. I just like to go with the flow. I play guitar.
So my biggest issue was, right? Actually, let me hold on. Let me hold on a second. Hang on. Now this is the biggest change that I've made to my makeup routine, especially for the summer. It is that I've strayed away entirely from a foundation-based makeup routine for my face. I only use a powder foundation. The trick that I've realized for this is you need a much stiffer brush for the application. I have been using the IT Cosmetics Celebration Foundation in the color Light, and it's just a pressed powder foundation. And this is the brush that I've been using. It's really dense, and I don't know why I just spanked it, but oh, this is from Tarte. And I focus it mainly on my cheeks here and my T-zone. Just like this. My biggest problem in this whole movie, right, is this girl Chloe. And I'll admit, like probably everyone else, I had my assumptions about her, she just didn't feel right. So Noah goes off to Harvard And he, you know, like I said, sucks at communicating, so he doesn't let Elle know that all his life he's been jealous of Elle's relationship with her brother, because Noah's brother is Elle's best friend. And all his life, apparently, he's been jealous of this relationship and he's wanted that for himself. Like, just a person of the opposite sex just as a best friend, right? So he goes off to college and he meets this person. And she's, you know, beautiful and tall and has an accent and she's traveled the world. And for Elle, that was a little intimidating, right? And she just comes along and Noah hasn't communicated who she is to him, to her. So Elle meets her when she goes to Boston. And you know, they hug, but they don't just hug. Like, his hand grazes her butt, moves on her hips, and they like embrace and they do a little cheek kiss. I would be like, like that would be the moment, right? To like explain who she is. No, we want to wait. So she sees that and she's like,
Okay, like, that's a little weird. I don't hug Lee like that, but that's fine.
I just finished with my foundation and I've noticed with the powder that it's a lot more of an airbrushed finish. I just like to leave my natural skin to kind of show through it a little bit. So next, I like to do bronzer and blush. I use the NARS bronzer in Casino. This I just swirl in there. And I focus this on my forehead, on my jaw and neck, and all right here, mainly on my cheeks and my nose. It's actually really hard to do it in the camera because I have no idea what it's actually looking like. And then I just make sure it's blended here. Usually my chest is a lot tanner than my face, so the bronzer blends it all together nicely. Okay, continuing with the tea. It's Elle's last day in Boston. And just like any normal scene, the man's in the shower, so that's the time, right? Let's accidentally see everything that we don't want to see, right? She finds an earring under his bed. It's only right. And then she goes through his phone because while he's in the shower, Chloe texts him and just says like, "Want to meet up later?" So you can't just see that and not go through the other texts, right? And they're like oddly just very, like, just so sketchy with no context. Like, only Noah would obviously know what that means. So of course, when he gets out of the shower, she doesn't confront him about it, right? And like asks him about it. No, she just storms off and travels back to California. It's not like it's just like a 20-minute drive away from him and we can catch up later. It's like, I'm just gonna fly to a different time zone. I'll see you later. So it's just that. It's like she doesn't even bring it up until she's back home, and it's like a couple of days later and he's like, "Oh, I wish you brought this up sooner." I'm like, yeah, same. Yeah, she tells him about the earring. He's like,
"Oh, I don't know who that could be. Like, maybe it's my roommate's ex-girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. Could be anybody's, right?"
yeah, okay. So she's like,
I trust you. I believe you.
I also have blush from IT Cosmetics. It's Bye Bye Pores blush in the color Naturally Pretty Warm Peach. Looks like this. Cute. So after she knows who Chloe is, she's obviously... Elle is very skeptical of everything that Noah says, as
she should.
I guess one night she calls him and he leaves his phone at his apartment or his dorm, and a friend answers. She's like, "Where's Noah?" And he's like, "Oh, he's at a concert." And she's like, "Do you know who he went with?" And he's like, "Oh, I think he went with Chloe." And she's like, "Bet," like, bye. She doesn't hear from him until like the next night. He's like, "Sorry, I went to a band. I went to go see a band." And she's like, "Oh, who'd you go with?" He's like, some of the guys.
Noah? What are we doing? What are we doing here?
So while all this is going on, she's engaging. She's in an entanglement with Marco. And she's all over him because, you know, he beat the high score on the dance machine and she always had the high score for like years. So he comes along, breaks her record. She's like, hang on, what's next? I like to do a little bit more powder under my eyes just for the purpose of brightening them a little more. So I like to use the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and all I do is put a little in the cap, and I just use a sponge and not really bake, but kind of. I don't know, you know, I just do things to do them. I think I'm gonna go into my eyes next. So I'm gonna just curl my lashes. I gotta see my, if I do that without seeing it, or poke my eye out. I'm already aware that this video seems all over the place, but I just have a lot of emotions, okay? I'm actually gonna do my eyebrows next. This is the Revlon Colorstay Brow Shape and Glow. A little tip like that. And I just kind of use it where my hair's a little sparse. So, she's in this entanglement with Marco, where they just have that really flirty, annoying relationship. Deep down though, he's obviously a really nice guy, and he had like a really good heart-to-heart with her about Noah. And he was like, you know, if you were my girl, basically I would never make you feel like that. And she was like, he's been the one that's been her partner for this dance competition thing. You've been like rehearsing every day with each other. And, you know, that can only lead to, like, them obviously growing a friendship and flirting with each other and finding more about each other, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, basically, perfect. So now that I curled my lashes, I'm just going to put a little bit of mascara on. And I use the Maybelline Lash Sensational. All along while Noah is doing his whatever he's doing with Chloe, in the whole movie, we're made to think like that he's cheating on Elle because of the way that their relationship is. It's very touchy. She'll call him and be like, hey, let me in, I'm downstairs. She'll come up and she'll like force him to go out because he's in a mood, and he'll just be like,
oh, you're so good for me.
And I'm like,
You don't need to say that.
at this point, Elle's just over it. She's just trying to live her best life, and she's like, I'm not getting the attention I deserve, so I'm just gonna go out there and dance with this guy. Noah actually comes home a day early and surprises her by going to her dance competition, of course. And they do a really great routine, and it ends, and everyone's clapping, and it's slow motion, and she's looking into Marco's eyes, and she kisses him. And Noah is just like, oh, so that's what we're doing. Obviously, of course, like throughout all their practices, Elle and Marco kind of have been, you know, have been like catching feels for each other. That doesn't look well on Elle's part. So the next day is Thanksgiving. Perfect. All the family gets together. We're all so warm and fuzzy, and the communication is gonna be perfect, right? No. So they're all sitting at the table, one happy family. Also, a weird communication factor is between Lee and his girlfriend Rachel. No communication there whatsoever. I completely understand when Rachel gets upset that Elle is around so much because Elle and Lee are best friends, but I can understand from being a girlfriend perspective if the best friend's just around too often, she's gonna be like,
what is going on? You got somewhere else to be at all, ever? No? Okay. Just asking.
Rachel's actually the only one in the movie that has communication skills. And she was just like,
Hey Lee, do you mind just being like, hey Elle, stop tagging along in every single thing we do. Just tell her to give us our space a little bit. Like, I just want to kind of have time alone with you once in a while.
That's not asking for a lot. And he's like, yeah, I'll definitely talk to her, right?
Doesn't talk to her.
They went to this Halloween party, and the three of them were going to be like a group costume. They were going to be a s'more. So poor Rachel had to be a freaking big marshmallow, and then Lee and Elle were going to be the graham crackers. Like, no. So that was their plan. And then Elle changed costumes last minute, and Lee didn't tell Rachel. So freaking Elle and Lee go to the party, and they're Ghostbusters, I think.
And Rachel walks out of the car as a big freaking marshmallow. Pissed.
I was like, Lee, you didn't tell her about the costume? He's like, oh my god, I forgot. This poor girl walks out with marshmallows on top of her head. So I just finished my mascara. And when I'm like, I don't normally do this unless I'm going out somewhere, but I thought for the sake of the video, I should just do it. If there are just like little sparse areas or like specifically on the end when I want more of a winged look, I just use some individual lashes. These are the Foam Ink individuals from Ardell.
I don't have lash extensions anymore right now, so this is what you gotta do.
So I know I just popped around from when they were having Thanksgiving to this Halloween dance, but it needed to be done. That's where my mind's going right now. And it would help if you watched the movie before, like, watch it so we can have like this educated conversation about it. After all this stuff has been going on, after Marco and Elle kiss, after Elle thinks that Noah is cheating on her, right? They have this nice family sit-down Thanksgiving with their families. Of course, Noah brings Chloe to Thanksgiving. And in our minds, right, Noah does not have pure intentions. Like, is Noah going to introduce her as his girlfriend? What's the sitch? They all sit down, and it was just one of those really dysfunctional, good family dinners where just the shit just comes out on the table. And Rachel blows up. She's like,
Elle, why are you still on us? Like, back off. Like, why didn't you listen to Lee?
I was like,
What? What are you talking about?
Rachel's like,
Lee told you that we need space. Like, why aren't you respecting that?
I was like,
What are you talking about? Not me. Wrong bitch.
and Lee's like,
Oh, dang. About that. I forgot. Didn't tell her any of that.
Rachel's like,
Wow, see ya.
storms out. Since Elle's already enraged with that whole situation, she finally confronts Noah and is like, oh,
Chloe, I found your earring. Here it is, girl. Yeah, it was under my man's bed. Oh, yeah, here it is.
long story short, we finally make it to the Kissing Booth fundraiser, and Marco's there, and he goes up to kiss Elle, but instead he just talks to her, and he's like, listen, you can't deny that we have had feelings for each other. And she tried to play it off like, oh, it was just a distraction, like, and I was unhappy, I didn't know what I wanted, blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, you're not the one, like, I gotta go find him. I gotta go run to find him. So of course Noah is at the airport with Chloe because he's getting ready to head back to Boston after Thanksgiving because that went so well. Her true colors finally come out. And he's like, I don't know why she ever would think I would cheat on her with you. Like, we're really just friends. And she's like, do you love her? Go find her. Like, you're not stupid. Go after her. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, wow, so inspirational. So he obviously runs from the airport to go find Elle. They literally cross paths and then they have to like go back to find each other. And they make up, they confess their feelings, and that is when Noah decides it's a good idea to like explain himself and his relationship with Chloe. 2 hours into the movie is when he wants to be like, let me tell you what's really going on. Like, yeah, sure. And that's when he explained, like, when I first got to school, I was just so lonely. My grades were bad. And he's like, I was always jealous of you and Lee's relationship. I'm like, boy, if you don't grow up, I get it, but I think that should have been said on day one. Or when you first met her. You know what I mean? And the reason why Noah brought Chloe to Thanksgiving was because he wanted her to meet Elle and like for them to have a good relationship. Like, I get it, but like, that's kind of where they ended. And it was like 20 minutes left of the movie and that all had to happen. And there was just, oh my God, there was so much closure I needed and reassurance because I was like, I really won't like this movie if she ends up with Marco. Just didn't fit right. And her and Noah had already been through so much crap, so I'm like, there's no way like she can't be with him. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So it just felt right that they got back together. All right. So I think that's pretty much it. I think I just have lips left, and what I normally like to do is just put on a clear gloss, but a series of unfortunate events happened and I accidentally threw it away. In the meantime, I like to just use Vaseline, just something shiny and moisturizing, or I also have this like grandma rosebud stuff. It's actually really good. It kind of smells like that nice grandma perfume, but yeah, definitely grandma. And on top of that, if I just wanted a little bit more color, I like using pinky rose colors. So I do have this Revlon Ultra HD matte lip color in the color HD Kisses. Yeah, so I just know that there needs to be a Kissing Booth 3 because your girl got accepted to both UC Berkeley and Harvard. And so that's how it ended with her acceptance letters. So I'm like, where's this bitch gonna go? Like, she has to go to Harvard because that would just be so exciting. I know that her and Lee made that pact where best friends have to go to the same school, and I know that Lee wants to go to UC Berkeley, but I don't know. I'm so conflicted. Okay, so I just got on. I just kind of focus in the center a little bit, I guess. Okay, that's fine. Also with this lip color, this is also great for my cheeks as well. I know I put on that blush earlier, but it's kind of a little bit pinker than this. So sometimes I'll just kind of blot it on my cheeks and blend it in just to kind of make them look a little, okay, that was a lot. I think this is my finished look.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to apologize for how psychotic this video was and how crazy I sounded the whole time. Dang, I should have put him here the whole time. And in the meantime, please subscribe to my channel. Maybe it's your guys' fault. Maybe if I had more subscribers, I'd make more videos. I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.